I talk to a lot of people who, at the moment, have been quite unhappy with the fact that they've got all this time on their hands. And I think part of that is because usually they've got work to go to, so when they go to work, they don't have to think about all these things that could be going on in their head. They just need to focus on their job. And I think people get into the situation where going to work and working Monday to Friday is literally, that is their life, that is who they become almost. Where I think it's so important that your job doesn't define who you are, it's just something that you do. And I think there needs to be a differentiator there. And I think what happens is, in a situation like this where everyone's locked at home and we can't go to work because of this virus, I think it's opened things up a little bit in terms of making people realise that there's a lot more they could be doing with themselves, but they just don't know what. Because right now would be the opportunity to do all these things that they could do, but a lot of people just don't do anything. And I think a way to actually address that, and what I've been doing, is just setting a long-term vision for yourself. So I sat down and I thought to myself, right, what's going to be a really good long-term vision? What do I want to happen in 10 years' time? Where do I want to be? What does that look like? What does that feel like? And how am I going to get there? And the main issue with that is you've got the vision, you understand what you want, but it's quite difficult to know exactly how you're going to get there, because there's so many different ways that you could do it. So that's why it becomes important that you try different things rather than just focusing on one thing for your whole life. So if you're successful at one thing, then you can try something else, which you might even be more successful at, or might add to your life or add value to your life. So that's how I think about it. So for example, I've started learning to code. Now at uni I'd done computer science, so I could code when I was at uni, but since I came out I've not done much coding. So I decided this is a good time to sit down and to start trying to learn to code again. And it's been difficult to pick it up and almost to start from scratch again with a new language as well that I'd never used before. But quite quickly I started to get my head around it and start to get into it. And it's good because it makes you feel that you're developing as a person. It keeps your brain sharp. And I find that learning something new, a new skill, it keeps your mind occupied, it keeps your mind challenged, but it also keeps you like in a much better state of mind, you're a lot more positive about everything, not just that. For example, I'm getting up nice and early still. I'm getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm exercising, and then I'm doing my course. I'm still doing some work for clients, but basically a lot of my focus is on how can I develop myself. And I've never felt so good as I have in the last month or two, with eating better, exercising every day, and focusing on development and growth, and looking at these different opportunities that are available. And there's so many different opportunities available to us right now because of just the way that the world is now. Everything's online. I mean, there's so many opportunities in terms of careers. There's so many ways that you can make money now. And so looking at these different options and looking at what skills you need to make that happen, because that's another thing that's important. It's the skills. You can't do anything without the knowledge on how to do it. And that's one thing that this has gave us. It's gave us the opportunity to sit and focus and learn and develop our skills that we can apply to actually try something new, or to take what we were already doing in a different direction, or to add value to what we've already been doing. And this is all really important to do, and it's important to keep developing yourself and building yourself. Now the way that I try and do this is I designed this down triangle like this, and at the top of that triangle is my vision. That's where I want to be in 20 years time. So that's my 20-year vision. And then I said, right, to get that and to make that reality, what do I have to do? And that's when I set these smaller goals. And the smaller goals are really broad at the bottom of this triangle, this pyramid. So here, they're really broad. I've got all these different goals that I've got to do. But as you get more and more close towards your ultimate vision, you get more specific about what you have to do to get there. And that's what's important to understand. But every skill that you learn is something that's going to help you achieve your long-term vision, because everything that you learn improves the way that you think. I mean, even computer programming, for example, it's really good because it's about solving problems. So programming is basically taking a problem and finding a solution to it. And the great thing about a computer is a computer allows you to find a solution that you can repeat over and over again, and it does it so fast compared to what a human can do it, and it does it consistently. It can just do it over and over again without getting tired. So the skill of being able to solve problems and the logical process, the thought process of breaking down a problem so that you can write a bit of code that's going to solve it, is really good. And again, it's just an example of a skill that someone could learn that's going to help them. It might be that, for example, you have got a weight problem. You could use this time not just to exercise, but to actually learn about exercise. You could sit and learn about how diets actually work, how nutrition, what you can actually eat that's going to improve how healthy you are, what type of exercise you could be doing, understanding how the body works and things like that. There's so many different things that we can learn at the moment, rather than just sitting around watching TV or watching Netflix. And I just feel that so many people are doing that, and a lot of people I speak to, friends and stuff, are doing it. I speak to them every day, and they can't wait to get back to work. And I'm thinking, well, I have my own business, so I'm working right now, and one thing I'm looking to do right now is, how am I going to come out of this and make my business go absolutely massive? How am I going to come out of this and say, right, I've got all these new skills that I'm going to apply to this business, come out of this a different person, an improved person? And it's possible. It doesn't take much to improve yourself. One thought can change the way that you think. And habits are one of the most difficult things to break. And I think when it comes to breaking habits, one of the best ways to do that is education and learning new things. And so, for example, learning the process of writing code, or as I say, learning about fitness, that will change your mindset, and it could change your habits, because you're going to understand it's not someone just telling you to do something, you're actually having to do it. You're learning exactly how to do it. So then you've got a deeper reason for doing it, not because someone told you to do it, but you understand why you should do it. And that's what I think creates long-term change. And that's what breaks habits. And habits are basically what keep us where we are right now. Most people are controlled by habits, and it's one of the most difficult things to change. So I highly recommend sitting down and thinking about your long-term vision, long-term goals, and then breaking it down to what can you do right now with the time that you've got to come out of this a much better person, a much stronger person, and basically just to come out of it so that you've not wasted time. You don't want to look back on this. Well, certainly didn't want to look back on this time and say 12 months, look back and say, well, what did I do during that time when we were locked in our houses? And to think, well, I watched a lot of Netflix. I don't want to do that. I want to be thinking, right, well, I've done something. I worked hard and I created something. I learned new skills and I developed myself as much as I possibly could. I learned something about myself, and I came out of that a different person, different mindset. You want to come out of this like a bull going for the gates. You want to go out ready, driven, and just full of new knowledge and new skills. So I hope that didn't go on too much there, but I just think I've been speaking to a lot of friends, and it's been making me really realise how many people are wasting this time, and how some people are really struggling with it, and I think focusing on the wrong things, which is the reason why that's the case. And I just think that if a lot of people can get into the mindset of like, what can I do positive right now, then they're going to have a much better time, and they're going to come out of this much better and a much better person.